Hey guys, how you doing? I just want to talk about some gameplay running in the background, separated by I guess a few days, but actually only 2 days of playing. So just some random games in the background showing various levels of success and mainly losses, of course. I looked up my own stats, and number of battles. I mean, all my stats are slipping. So the win rate's gone down, survivability's gone down, kill death ratio. You name it, it's gone down. One thing I've done many talking videos now. I don't like doing the talking videos because I'm not good at it, but sometimes I go off on a bit of a tangent and I forget some. Forget to mention some points. Speaking of win losses, there was at one point in this game years ago, many years ago now, where I was above 50% win rate and climbing. And then, from when I checked where I was at, I kind of shocked myself, and then it was like all the bells and whistles went off in the wargaming offices, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? This guy who calls out our bullshit on the forums back those days, it was forums, right? This guy's got an over 50% win rate now, and it's climbing. What the fuck, right? So, then after that, I started going on just horrendous losing streaks. Horrendous. And one of the things I never mention in my videos that I talk in is that one of those horrendous losing streaks was 29-2. I just, I kept thinking, this has got to end. This has got to end. This has got to end. But it was 29-2. 29 losses. 2 wins interspersed within those 29 games. So actually it was 27, right? 27-2. So 2 wins within 29 games. And from that point on, it's just been going, consistently at around a 48% win rate, and now I'm below 48%. And this game will show an example where, I get taken out and the team falls apart, and I'm not showing you, I never show you random stuff or outliers. My whole channel is an outlier from what you'll see from other guys and other guys' stats and stuff like that. What's happening to them, me, is completely different. This is why I think my channel's unique. I don't know, that may be up some guys' alleys, and it may turn some guys right off. I don't get many views anyway, so I'm guessing if you won't even bother to watch, I'm preaching to the choir kind of thing, right? You guys get it. But it's just no matter what you do in this game, you cannot control your win rate. That's the matchmaker, that's wargaming controlling that. Of course, as I've gone into many times in my videos, it's statistically impossible. When you add it's simple math, right? And not that I'm good at math. I'm just, I did take statistics in school. And it's just simply statistically impossible for one guy to win a game. This is nonsense. And I've shown videos where I've demonstrated, there's been 3 times now when I did long videos on talking about this subject. There was 2 examples, but then another example happened recently, but it was in a tier 5 game with that tier 5 premium tank, that German medium that nobody likes. I'll get more, don't let me, yeah. That's it, don't let me forget as if I'm talking to somebody, but, I'll get to premium tanks later. But there's only been 3 where, we kind of had no business winning the match, and one guy performed so admirably that he won the match. But nobody wins a match, is what I'm saying, single-handedly. That's impossible. If you've ever been in a fight, for God's sakes. One guy is not going to win a 15 versus 15 fight, right? So it's not the movies, right? Where you see some fucking 90-pound beautiful blonde girl beating up fucking 40 East European huge guys well over 200 pounds by herself. It's fucking nonsense, right? It's nonsense in real life. It's nonsense in this game. Every single aspect, not only RNG and hit points and stuff, not only apply to your tank, right? But all the modules within that tank, the crew members within that tank, they're all assigned hit points. And the degrees of variation that can be applied to damage and penetration and such, and the risk of being caught on fire, the gun breaking. There's numerous ways that wargaming controls the outcome, right, of your success or your team's success or your success or team's failure. You know what I mean? So, and if you take those, in our game it's plus or minus 20%. In PC version it's 25% plus or minus. And you take all those variables, you add them together, and then you multiply it by 30 guys, 15 guys per team. You end up with an astronomical number. So it's statistically impossible for a guy to win a fucking match. Right? If I, for instance, another point I'd like to get across here before I forget about that 27-2, or 2 wins in 29 games. Even if I was AFK for 29 games, consecutive games, for all of them, you'd think I would have a better win-loss ratio than that, right? How often have you been in a match where you shit the bed and still won? How often, as you'll see in my videos, quite often, you'll have personally a good game, but still lose decisively. So something else is going on, right? That something else is the matchmaking and RNG all conspiring to hold you at a certain... I have videos that go into this. I don't go into looking at people's stats, right? But, I have done that before, and someone told me to check out these guys' stats, and I did videos on them. A guy's win rate means nothing. Stars on the barrel mean nothing. They have nothing to do with the guy's skill level. Guys who have incredible, and I'm talking high 60 win-loss ratio, 3 stars on their barrel, in tier 10 matches. in tier 10 tanks, and yet still have no clue what they're doing, what the game mode is, how the game mode works. They don't have a clue. So this stuff about, okay, so that's always bothered me, right? And if you watch my channel, you know that's been a beef for forever in this game, right? So just wanted to get that out of the way first here. I've been watching guys talking about the upcoming changes that Wargaming's planning to make, and they talk about Wargaming, talk about frustration, fun, and enjoyment. Right? This is what they want to improve in this game. Frustration, fun, and enjoyment, and make it seem like they're listening to the community. But who in the community are they listening to? And trust me, Wargaming's never listened to the community. This game has never been fun. Once in a while it can be fun and enjoyable, but it's always been frustrating. Always. And what frustrates me may not frustrate you or the next guy. It certainly won't frustrate the CCs. Because they're not getting the same matchmaking, the same RNG I'm getting. They're not getting the fucking horrendous losing streaks I'm getting. No matter what they do.
This one's wrecked. Let's get out.
Even in their simplistic Wargaming's scoring system here of who finishes on top. Right? So this game has never been about any of those things. And if they say they're going to change, if it was about those things, they would have taken artillery out of it. From game one, from the first time I started playing this game, artillery was an issue with the community. What did they do to artillery in console version? Right? Well, they made it both worse in both PC and console version. Right? They have the stun mechanic in PC, and they made artillery faster and more accurate than what it used to be in console. They made it worse. So they do not listen. They give me a break. They don't listen. They don't have a clue in those offices what they're doing. My very first talking video was a rant that was mainly, they're all rants, but the very first one was also a rant. And it mainly talked about maps, the new maps compared to the old maps. And I was just, talking about how I was looking at some of my old videos and seeing the map design back then. The map, and then it was 6.0 and all the maps went out the window. And the old maps were way better than the new maps. One of the things they talk about, these CCs are talking about, I'm going to run out of time in this video to go through everything I wanted to go through, but maybe I'll make it a two-parter. They're talking about, they go into premium tanks and, the gameplay, and they're focused on just minute little, their own little bitches about certain premium tanks and stuff. We're on that. Okay, I'm on that subject right now. Let me just talk. I've done videos on the. You seriously want Wargaming to start fucking around with the premium tank again, like they used to? I'm talking the ones that you paid real in-game currency for, real money for, on your credit card money for. You seriously want them to go and start fucking around with those? I thought that was like a dead issue, because lots of the countries and regions that wargaming does business in have consumer protection laws that do apply to the digital realm. Right? That stopped them from doing this because they used to do it in the old days. There were premium tanks. One of them, I think, was this Super Pershing. Back in the old days, where they fucked around with its stats after guys had paid real money for it. You seriously want them to start doing that again? You think they stopped doing that out of the goodness of their heart? Like some of these CCs, man, you wonder where's your life experience from? What the fuck, whatever. I don't know. I bad enough about those guys enough. I don't fucking respect any of them, man. I think they're all a bunch of fucking, what's right, but anyhow, so I hope they don't start figuring out ways to fuck around with premium tanks that will go around these consumer protection laws in certain regions where World of Tanks is available just to make a few fucking CCs happy, I hope they don't do that. This is something guys paid real money for from their pockets. It's like they sell you a Cadillac and then a few months later somebody comes and says, oh, you know what, that Cadillac you bought, I'm going to take it away from you and give you a Chevrolet instead that's a few steps down. Oh, the fuck, man. Why would you be advocating? Only a fucking idiot would advocate for something like that. And that's, of course, what some of these fucking CCs are. They're fucking idiots. Right? Fucking idiots, man. I got no respect. Okay. Go back to my first rant about the maps. The maps used to be they talking about making the games last longer. Well, they totally fucked that up with these new maps. How do you make the game longer? And they're coming up with all kinds of weird shit. I don't know if you've been keeping up on this stuff. And normally I don't pay attention to these fucking guys. But sometimes they say such outrageously stupid fucking things that it just bugs me. I know with all that's going on in the world, it's literally stupid to be talking about a video game. But here I am talking about a video game, right? What can I do about what's going on in the world, or what can I do about what's going on in the world of tanks? Nobody fucking listens to me. Why? And why should they, right? But if you are still listening, they used to have good maps back in the old days. They were bigger. They had less clutter. The tanks were slower. They progressively made the tanks faster and faster, but the maps haven't grown. So what do you think is going to happen to the game? Right? What do you think's going to happen? And I said this a long time ago, and of course nobody paid any attention. I used to know and work with guys who were in Vietnam. I forget the exact number, but I remember reading about a study of guys who are in Vietnam. The average firefight took place within a distance that I think was just off the top of my head was less than 30 meters. Less than 30 meters away from the enemy is where most of the firefights took place. And why is that? Well, it's because of the vegetation. Right? You can't see until you're right on top of the guy. Comparatively, right? With a weapon distance, that's comparatively being right on top of the guy. You're practically stepping on them before the fight takes place. So when they designed these maps, they didn't just, some maps they did, like there's a couple, Red Shire's pretty good, Elamine's pretty good. They kind of brought those maps back into the rotation that were very close to the way they were in the original. But the rest of them, they fucked up. They fucked up with obstacles and vegetation all over the fucking place. So you can't see, there's no line of sight. So what's going to happen? Right? What's going to happen when you're stepping on the guy before the fight takes place? The fight's going to be over very quickly. One way or another, it's going to be over very quickly. I was wargaming. Got anybody in those offices who knows or understands predictive positioning, line of sight, and then it becomes a matter of firepower and accuracy as to who's going to win that outcome. No, they don't have fucking anybody in those offices who have a fucking clue about any of those things. Otherwise, they wouldn't have designed these fucking maps the way they did. And now to come and say, now, the games are going, so fast. We got to figure out a way. Oh, fuck. Figure it out. Take a fucking genius, or you don't have to be a Vietnam veteran to fucking figure out what's going on. Unbelievable. They frustrate me so bad, those guys. They're clueless in the fucking offices. These guys, these other CCs who try to describe the problems, they're fucking clueless, man. Seriously. They piss me off too. So you have... I'm constantly put on the team. So my win rate's going to shit. I don't get to pick the guys that I'm partnered with in this game. Wargaming does that for me, and I'm constantly put with guys. They're slow of thought. Right? Slow of thought means slow to process the information their eyes are taking in. Therefore, they're slow of action or reaction, or in most cases, there's no frickin' reaction at all. That describes the teams I'm put on all the time. Not this particular team in this match. Right? I'm just talking in general. Just some gameplay in the background as I'm going through my rant again. And when there is a reaction on my team, for instance, guys camping at the back. Guys learn that if they camp at the back and they try to survive at the end of the game, Wargaming rewards them with top 5 finishes for that. So what is that guy? That guy's sole purpose is trying to survive as long as he can to pad his stats at the end of the game with this simplistically dumb reward system that Wargaming has implemented in this game. It's so simple. It's so dumb. It does not take into account the kinds of things that win or lose games. I'm put on the teams that camp at the back, and when the enemy supposedly to keep the base safe, but when the enemy team comes for the base, they jet. They book out of there. And they go to another camping spot where maybe there's some other guys freaking already hiding there the whole game, and they pick off a few tanks at the very end. The game's long since over. The firefight was over. Okay, getting it back to the map design. You designed a game here where the firefights are going to be over very quickly. within the first two, this is why I can predict with an amazing degree, I'm not shitting you, accuracy, who's going to win or lose this game. I can predict within the first 30 seconds of the match, simply because where guys move and where they don't move. Once in a while, I'm proven wrong. But most of the time, I'm right. Because if you're not ready to fight in the way they've set this game up, within the first 2 minutes, then you're doing nothing to help your team. You're going to help yourself, sure. But you're not helping the team at all. The game is won or lost by other guys in the first, who've done the hard work for you in the first 2 minutes. At the most, the first 2 minutes. Some guys are over in 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So how are you going to fix without a total rework of the maps? They're talking about, slowing the tanks down with the, with what they can adjust, right, is the, terrain resistances. This is just going to be minute changes, right? But you fucked up so badly on the maps. Here's an example of the map that they did a redo that was remarkably similar to the way it was in the original. It was a pretty good redo. So they know how to get it right. But every so often they get it so wrong, and then they wonder why the games or matches aren't lasting very long. And they're also talking about maybe skill-based matchmaking and stuff. I don't know. And the CCs are ranting about that. Well, I'd welcome any change to the matchmaking, because whatever they're fucking doing to me isn't working for me. My win rate, no matter what I do, is fucking declining. Why? Because I can't win a match. I've never seen a CC win a match single-handedly either. So, so fuck you, right? Yeah, please get me away from these guys who can't think and can't react. They can't predict. Please get me away from those guys. Whereas I'm put up against enemies on the enemy team who do move, who do shoot. In other words, they're thinking and they're reacting and they're taking action. Why can't I be put on those teams once in a while, more often? No, we got to put you, buddy. This dude who mouthed this off in the forums here, we got to put you on a 27-2 run. Put you back in line. Well, that's it, guys. I think I've covered everything I wanted to take care of in this rant, and talk about that that 29-2 that I've so often wanted to mention in my videos, but got distracted and got off on a tangent, and forgot to ever mention it, and talk about it. Like I say, even if you were AFK for that entire 29 matches, you'd think you'd come out with a better win rate than 27-2. Well, that's just my thinking anyway. What do I know, right? But anyway, guys, I hope you I hope you appreciate some of the things I've talked about. I hope some of you get what I talk about in my videos. And my frustration with wargaming. And they're paid. And what does Klaus call them now? I did videos on this not long ago. It calls them the wargaming contributors, WGs. I still like Klaus. Don't agree always with, especially the way he plays the game. He kind of plays at the back all the time too. But and as I mentioned in those videos, the guy who I actually liked the way of the CCs used to be was that. What was his name? IUXN? IUXN, I think. And they kicked him out of the program because they didn't like something he said. They kicked the guy I liked, how he played. I respected him how he played the game, right? I'm not talking about anything he said. I didn't care less, right? Wargaming obviously does, but I don't care. Just say whatever you want. But I respected the way that kid played the game. He played at the front lines, which is hard to do, and he did it well. Which is more than I can say for the rest of the CCs. And that's the guy they booed out of the program because, I don't know, they figure he wasn't towing the party line anymore. So, yeah, I'm not going to be a CC anytime soon. That's for sure. Nor would I take the job. Yeah, you ever been in those kind of jobs where, speaking of guys, you know, in the first 2 minutes, you know, you got to be ready to fight in the first 2 minutes or else forget it, right? You shouldn't be rewarded for not paying attention or hiding, you know, for the first 2 minutes of the fucking game and then, you know, results in a loss. But the wargaming scoring system does it that way. I've worked with guys who, you know, hey, you know, where were you? The fucking fight's over. Where the fuck were you? I don't know if you've ever worked with guys like that before, but they seem to manage fine in the workplace, right? Those guys, yeah, they did okay. They were fucking clueless in a fight, though. Yeah, hiding there. Not pay attention, whether it's deliberately or otherwise, doesn't make any difference. Nowhere to be found. Yeah, the fight's over. What fight? You know, fuck. Thanks for showing up, man. Anyway, guys, appreciate it. Hope you stay to the end, and I appreciate you putting up with me, and whatever you want to say in the comments. I'm kind of different in my comment section. If you say something fucking stupid, you know, I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe I'll let it go, maybe I won't, but whatever. Hope to catch you guys on the next video anyway. Thank you.